special feeling in Oldsmobile. There is a special feeling in Oldsmobile. More than the luxury ride, it's a feeling of pride that you feel inside.
Hey everyone, this is my 1990 Oldsmobile Toronado I picked up from Chicago. Last time I showed off a little video of it, and I finally wanted to do some work to this. Still haven't gotten any of the mechanical stuff done, or the mirror. That's great. But we're going to start off with putting a OEM steering wheel in. And here you go. Here's the GM part number and everything for it. Let me shut this door here. So we're going to replace this one. I'll get it out of the sun here. You can see it looks like crocodile skin. You know, it's all crackly and it's really rough. Versus this not aftermarket, sorry, NOS steering wheel. I'm used to saying aftermarket because, you know, that's what it would be usually. But I found one on eBay, of all things. Luckily, the Custom Cruiser and the Toronado share the exact same steering wheel. So, in the base Toronado, I should add, because these didn't come leather wrapped. Or at least some of them didn't. I don't believe the cloth seat cars did. Or, well, I guess this is more like velour than cloth. So yeah, we're gonna start with that. I got my tools here and some outside. We're gonna start off with a T27, and that's going to go back here and go into these 4 holes, 2 on each side. Don't know if that showed up, but yeah, we're going to use the T27 to loosen the 4 nuts. Actually, you know what? I can just show you on the OEM wheel. So there's all the bolts in there. There's 4 of them. They're all Torx. And T27, as I said. So I'm going to loosen those up, get the steering airbag out of here, and then we'll move on to actually removing the steering wheel itself. All right, got the airbag off. You just need to take off this spring here, and then the connector for the airbag, and then now we have to take off this nut. And before we do that, well, I'm going to loosen this here. And then after we do that, I'm going to use this, which is a steering wheel puller. You can buy these at AutoZone or O'Reilly's, you know, wherever. And I found on the Tornados, it's the one that has the 3 little marks on the top. A pretty short or fine thread. So all the kits that I've used, that's what I've always used. And they thread right in to this hole here. And this one here. So yep, so I'm gonna get a socket and a wrench big enough to take this nut off, and then we'll be right back. I gotta figure out what size that even is. I think it's like a 19 or 17, something like that. All right, we got this puller set up. I got the old nut still on there. It's a 21 inch, so make sure you have something large like that to pull it off. But I stuck it back on there just finger tight, so when this pulls the steering wheel, it doesn't take the whole steering wheel and hit me in the face with it. So we're gonna we used 2 holes for these, lined up this with the center of the actual the shaft on the steering column at the splines, if you will, that the steering wheel rests on, and we will be taking this and slowly turning this until it starts pulling this forward, thus pulling the steering wheel off. So I guess we'll start that. All I have is adjustable wrenches with me today. So we're just going to try this and just do this slowly. And just like that, I think we have it off. Yep, it's all the way up to the nut now. So now we can actually take this off, take these out. I might have to get a wrench here. Hang on. The bolt heads on these are 13 if I remember correctly. And it is hard to put these on by one hand. There we go. Let me switch hands here. So we're just going to unscrew those for both sides. And I'm going to actually unscrew this back as well. It'll give us a bit more leeway. Just take that out completely. There's one. And about to be two. So there's that. Just take those out. And then we take this nut off. As I said, I only kept it hand tight. And then we should be able to just pull this straight off. I might actually need two hands to pull this evenly. So I only do that, but you can see there's a lot of play in this now, so it should just come straight off. But just pull on both sides here. And there we have it. There's the old steering wheel off. Interesting. It says made in Mexico, or assembled in Mexico. And here it is. You got your clock spring and all that good stuff. Everything for that, for your ignition, hole behind this cover here. So what we're going to want to do is make sure we put the steering wheel on the same way that we took it off. And the steering wheel is kind of a little bit cocked, just a little bit to the left, like one spline off. Usually you would clock it correctly the first time, but this car doesn't have any working power steering, so there was no way I'd be able to turn this steering wheel. I don't know why, but on the Torenados, the power steering helps incredibly. Like the non-manual racks are just so hard to turn. So now we'll take the new steering wheel here, and we'll have to thread that wire in right through here for the airbag. Make sure not to pinch it at all. And then this will go on. If I can get it to go on. Hang on. There we go. I need everything to line up. So another thing, so I guess Oldsmobile was smart in this, or GM if you will. They added a little what would you call it? I think it's actually for like the horn and everything, for the connection to be made through there, but it acts as like a little dimple for you to line up the steering wheel. So I mean, we have this thing spot on. Man, does this wheel look amazing on here. Look at that. So everything's the same as before. You just take these 4 screws and all that good stuff, tighten those up to the airbag on the back here. That's what your airbag looks like. And this is what this right here goes into that hole there. And then you twist it. There's this little tab right there. So that goes in there. So you push it in and then twist it to the right. Just a little bit. Don't do too much or else you'll break it. So we're going to put the nut back on here. I'm going to torque this down to spec. And then we'll come back when it's all completed. So here's the new steering wheel all put together. So this is pretty much the standard procedure for pretty much any GM steering wheel, from like the G bodies to the E bodies, F bodies, stuff like that. Pretty much, I would say 80, probably early 80s to the 93/4 when they started going over to the newer style airbags. But yeah, the steering columns all remain the same throughout that. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Got the new steering wheel on. I think it looks good. But yeah, it pretty much applies for any GM car of this era, 80s to 90s, early 90s. So, and then here's one more time. Here's the number if you want to get a steering wheel. I don't know if there's any other ones out there, but hey, you just never know. You might get lucky like I did on eBay. So, now I'm going to keep this as a spare. Never know when you're going to need another GM steering wheel, especially if I decide to convert one of these cars into a car for the track or something, where you really don't need an airbag. So, yeah, we'll see. But yeah, thanks again for watching. I'll definitely have more updates on this. I plan to put the trim in here. I need to get a cigarette lighter for this, and then I need to do the brake booster and the power steering on this car, power steering line. So, yep, that'll be coming up next. So stay tuned for that. And thank you for watching.